Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, an all-out manhunt closes area schools and a liquor license is on the table.
Stay tuned, learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. On Wednesday, schools in Brandon, Oxford, and Clarkston area school districts were closed. A gunman in Ortonville had dozens of Oakland County sheriffs and K-9 units and Border Patrol officers searching for him. On Tuesday evening, 35-year-old Michael Quigley drove to Brandon Township and shot his estranged wife and her companion. In his escape, Quigley's truck ran out of gas, so he abandoned the vehicle and set out on foot. Sheriff's helicopters and K-9 units searched throughout the night but were unable to locate him. Because Quigley lived in Clarkston and worked in Lake Orion, coupled with a warning not to leave their homes, both districts and Oxford closed their schools. On Wednesday, a Brandon resident discovered Quigley hiding in the resident's van about 1 mile from the scene. While both the victims were shot in the head with a .22 caliber, they were both in stable condition.
Oxford school officials submitted the district's preliminary count day numbers to the state last Wednesday, and they now expect a larger check from the State of Michigan Department of Education. The district is up over 200 students from last fall, bringing the count up to over 6,000. The state-mandated count days help to determine how much funding each public school receives. The formula is simple. More students equals more state aid. The fall count day represents 90% of the district's funding in comparison to spring count, which is only 10%.
A November 1st letter from Oxford Township Attorney Gary Rentrup contained both good news and bad news for the proposed House of Providence. The good news is that licensed child foster family group homes such as the House of Providence and its 118-acre property are allowed. This is because of a state statute in all residential zones. As for the bad news, Rentrup believes House of Providence can have a maximum of 6 children in each of their foster family group homes, not 10 as the organization has proposed. Rentrup's opinion letter was originally protected under the attorney-client privilege but was released to the public at the Oxford Township Board's November 8th meeting, and the vote was 7-0.
Oxford school officials are considering spending a potential $555,000 to update the district's wireless network to keep up with its growing student population. The network update project is anticipated to be awarded to Intracom at an approximate bid of $613,000 in the near future. A portion of those funds are expected to be reimbursed to the district by the Federal Communications Commission. This is through the Schools and Libraries Universal Service Support Program. This is commonly known as an E-rated program. E-rate helps schools and libraries to obtain affordable broadband by reimbursing them anywhere from 20 to 90% of the cost of telecommunications or broadband services.
A proposed strip mall cleared 2 hurdles in the approval process at last week's Oxford Township Planning Commission meeting. The Oxford Commons project received in 2 5-0 votes preliminary plan approval and special land use approval to allow one of the strip mall units to have a drive-through. The Birmingham-based Pelge Properties is looking to build an 11,000 square foot strip mall on the north side of Tractor Supply Company. Based on the site plan, the proposed strip mall will contain an over 4,000 square foot Leo's Coney Island with seating for over 100 customers.
Christian Mills Legacy Center is one step closer to getting a liquor license, but not everyone is happy about it. The Township Board narrowly approved the license at the November 8th meeting. In the 4-3 vote, Township officials passed a resolution approving the issuance of a new Class C liquor license for 925 Legacy Entertainment, a bar and restaurant located inside the Legacy Center. The Legacy Center is a 200,000 square foot, that's hard to say, recreation center and a community hub.
Wedding vows carry usually an incredible meaning to those who recite them. For those who can't seem to find the perfect words, there is Caitlin Stannis. The 2006 Oxford High School graduate has made it her mission to help others speak their hearts through her self-started business, Wedding Words. Wedding Words is a ghostwriting service for wedding-related writing. Stannis works a full-time job as well in New York City, and in her spare time, she works as a vow whisperer, helping to create lifelong memories for others using only words.
Oxford resident Jim Moyes is a Vietnam veteran, served in the U.S. Navy, and is a member of the North Oakland Veterans of Foreign Wars. He shared his military experience with Leonard Elementary 5th grader Ina Escavez during the school's Veterans Day celebration on November 10th. For more photos, pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper. If you'd like to learn more about Oxford News this week, you can also pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper or catch us right here at OCTV Charter Channel 191 or Channel 99, or you can get us on our website at occtv.org or YouTube and Facebook. I think I got it all.
And coming up soon, OCTV's very own Cody Wright with the Sports Report and School News with John Ochins. And you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles, bringing you your news that's closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Hi, it's Connie from Connie's Kitchen. I just wanted to remind you to watch us on OCTV and Uverse and
Okay, cut.
this is Connie from Connie's Kitchen at Treetop Lodge, reminding you to watch my program on OCTV and on Charter and
Cut.
Hi, it's Connie from Connie's Kitchen here at Treetop Lodge, reminding you to watch us on OCTV and YouTube and Charter and...
All right, cut. I think you forgot your lines, Connie.
I don't have lines.
Should have called lines.
Lines, there we go. Lines. Okay, 3, 2, 1,
Here we
me.
go. 3, 2.
Join me here at Treetop Lodge. This is Connie from Connie's Kitchen, reminding you that you can watch us on OCTV and YouTube, Charter Channel 199, Uverse Channel 99. Can you imagine if we had to go through this every time? Yeah, right? Okay, see ya. This is Connie from Connie's Kitchen here at Treetop Lodge, and I want to remind you to join me here at the Lodge for Connie's Kitchen on OCTV, on YouTube, on Charter Channel 199, on Uverse Channel 99, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, porpoises have the combination of acoustic controls built into their heads to thank for their ability to focus a directed beam of sonar on prey. The bone, air, and tissues in their skull behave like a metamaterial, a material designed to defy the normal laws of physics. These sea mammals can convert non-directional sound waves into a narrow laser beam of sound. Like dolphins, porpoises use echolocation to detect prey underwater up to 30 meters away. To do this, they emit high-frequency clicks in a focus beam in front of their faces, controlling the direction of the beam without moving their heads. They can also widen the beam as they approach their target, helping them to catch fish that try to escape. How they focus the beam is something of a mystery, particularly as the structures that produce the sound, called phonic lips, are smaller than the wavelength of the clicks they produce. This should result in the waveform being spread out instead of targeted. A tiny fatty organ in the front of the head called the melon appears to be important, but the details of the role it plays have been unclear. To investigate, Yu Zhang of Xiamen University in China and his colleagues have carried out computed tomography or CT scans of a finless porpoise to measure the acoustic properties of different tissues in its head. They have also gathered field recordings of porpoise signals and built a mathematical model to simulate how porpoises generate and control their sound beams. This kind of animal is difficult to do experiments with, says Zhang. CT and computer simulations help us to see what happens within the porpoise's head. The key, it turns out, is how the melon, the skull, and the air sacs in the head work together, forcing the sound into a single direction. Each of these parts of a porpoise's head reflects, refracts, and scatters sounds in different ways, and sound travels through each of them at different speeds. A porpoise can widen its beam of sound by compressing its melon with its facial muscles. That allows it to keep a fish in line of sight while chasing it. The biosonar system of the porpoise uses different principles than what we learn in textbooks, says co-author Wenwen Kao of Pennsylvania University. He says it hints at a new way to design small, accurate sonar systems for locating targets in the ocean. It might also help us to make metamaterials with an atomic structure that can combine properties like these. This might be particularly useful for the design of transducers, the parts of a sonar system that convert electrical pulses into sound waves, says Keith Brown at Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh in the UK. At the moment, if you want to build a low-frequency transducer with high directionality, it has to be very big, he says. Making metamaterials that look at how the dolphins and porpoises do things may allow smaller transducers. Keep that work up. And on the medical front, time for another cup? An analysis of more than 17,000 adults has found that coffee drinkers have a 7% lower risk of developing heart failure for every cup of coffee they consume per week. Heart failure is a progressive condition in which the heart cannot pump all the blood the body needs. This results in insufficient oxygen and nutrients being delivered, that is, to the rest of the body, and can lead, unfortunately, to death. The finding from Laura Stevens at the University of Colorado and her team was presented at a meeting of the American Heart Association in Anaheim, California last week. It's unclear why coffee would cut the risk of heart failure, says Stevens. We don't yet know if it is the coffee intake itself or another behavior that might go along with it, she says. For example, coffee drinkers may simply have healthier lifestyles. 2 other studies published earlier this year also found that coffee drinking seems to significantly reduce the chance of dying from heart disease. Stevens plans to study the compounds in coffee to find the reason for any protective effect. You keep it up and you keep drinking. In our last story, hackers say they have already managed to beat the Face ID system on Apple's iPhone X. Just a week after the launch, security firm BCAV released a video that purports to show the phone unlocking when presented with a 3D printed mask. Face ID works by creating a detailed map of the user's face. And Apple said the iPhone X cannot be fooled by masks or makeup, and good luck with that. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
Are you a movie buff? A gamer? A fan of music? Or do you just enjoy all things media? Then you should watch Media Maniacs on Monday through Friday at 3:30 and at 11:30 on the weekends, right before the all-night movies. Remember, Media Maniacs. They review everything, and they're just crazy enough to do it.
I'm John Ochins, and welcome to the Oxford Wildcat School Update. Some smiling faces around our schools this week. The new bond and sinking fund issues passed at the polls. Here's Superintendent Tim Throne.
I think everyone was just really excited, pleased, ecstatic that our community, our parents, a lot of people obviously came out and voted and was in favor of both the bond and the sinking fund. And so we're anxious to get started, but we know it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. It's going to take place over numerous years. And so we are taking the next step and getting ready to get to work.
Assistant Superintendent of Finance Sam Barna is pretty happy too.
No, we're very excited, and we're very thankful as well to our voters that just went out and voted on a day where we really thought there was going to be very little participation at the polls. And so, quite frankly, again, very thankful that people went out and voted, and thankful that the majority of voters voted in favor of both the bond and the sinking fund for the school district. I will reiterate, these were needs, not wants. And so we have a lot of work here at the district now to put the plans into motion, and to obviously tomorrow is our first meeting with our architectural firm as well as our construction manager and others to start now planning the sale of the first series of bonds and timing with the first series of projects.
I asked Sam what we can expect to see first.
Well, phase one, really what I feel initially, without speaking to our financial analyst, which is Umbaugh and Company, without speaking to them yet, I really feel that we're probably going to start selling the first series of bonds, which will be in the neighborhood of $9.2 to $9.4 million, series one, probably in the January timeframe. And so, it takes several weeks or months to receive those funds after you have a successful bond sale. And so, I foresee that, with putting out requests for proposals and getting bids on the various projects that we are going to incorporate within that first series, that will probably start construction and or, the improvements probably late spring. And, it's going to be, I know, and we mentioned this to the public, the air conditioning is really what we wanted to start with. Okay. But there will be other things as well.
Some new school buses are on the list, too.
I think that the first 2 years, she's going to, I believe, purchase 10 buses out of the 15 that we in total need from the bond. And again, we have a fleet of 50, so that's not going to, accomplish the full fleet. It'll accomplish approximately a third. But it's going to be great just to have some new buses, and they're all very excited. They're excited for the students as well, and it's a combination of first the students and also obviously just safety all around for our students first, and obviously for our employees.
As we get into the holiday season, helping others gains momentum with both staff and students. Oxford Orient Fish food drive signs can be seen around our schools. Luke Johnson and Nolan Mouser are fifth graders at OES.
Well, this is all about giving people for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving dinner can be hundreds of money, dollars for turkey and stuff like that. So the fish food drive is people would come in, they would pick stuff out for people that don't really have a Thanksgiving dinner mostly, and we would make a food drive and bring it to the fish so they can put it on the stock.
Are there special kinds of food that you're looking for?
Well, anything non-expired and anything that would make a Thanksgiving dinner.
Stuffing and mashed potatoes.
Okay, so you boxed things and canned things and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now, so how long does this go?
To the 17th. It started today.
The staff at OES has a project going too. Teacher Jamie Bartlow talks about Jeans for Troops.
It's the GI Go Fund, and it's Jeans for Troops Day. So they raise money for veterans that are home that need assistance with going back to school or just kind of getting back started into civilian life. So they kind of fund and help veterans in lots of different ways.
Good stuff. That's the Oxford School News for this week. This is Oxford Community Television, keeping it local.
What's going on, Oxford fans? Cody Wright back with you for the Sports Report. It has been a good fall season, and believe me, we have enjoyed it. However, now it's time to switch gears and look ahead at our winter sports season coming up. We have yet to see any matches this far. However, by this time next week, we will have our first hockey score for you. And soon we will be in the midst of boys and girls basketball, bowling and skiing, competitive cheer, wrestling, and hockey. So stay tuned and updated to mark your calendars for these schedules as they sweep in. I'd like to now switch attention to some exciting news concerning two female athletes of Oxford High School who signed a letter of intent to play for their college next year. Caitlin Bean, our top softball player and great basketball athlete as well, has agreed to go to Central next year and play Division I softball. Her major is undecided, but she plans to find that out in the years to come. And Amber Sakoop, a lacrosse athlete, has decided to go to Siena Heights and play lacrosse at a college level as well. We managed to get on over to the high school and get some footage of the girls meeting with their future coaches and signing on for what is hoped to be a successful future. Check it out.
Success of our program as well as your own individual success, and we can't wait to see you grow at Central Michigan University. We know that you will have success.
Committing to Siena Heights University, so let's give her a round.
Really timid and unsure of herself, and she's blossomed into a strong attack player on our team, and I'm very, very proud.
How about teammates?
I was going to say, can we get the team? The girls run.
Nice job, girls.
Nice. Great. Don't get the cheers.
One of many. You go, girl.
One of many.
Well, look outside, so thank you very much.
We wish both of these girls the best of luck in the years to come. They have been great athletes for us, and it's great to see them go on and play at a higher level. Well, that should just about wrap up this week's report. For more information on these events and others, go to oxfordathletics.org. More details, schedules, statistics can all be found there, once again, at oxfordathletics.org. While you're at it, might as well check us out at occtv.org. All of our coverage of these games and more can be found on our YouTube page, which is accessed through the website. Once again, that is occtv.org. And that should do it for this week's report. I want to thank you all for watching and remind you to tune in next time. I am Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan. Take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Ford's Smart Mobility subsidiary, founded last year to handle the purchase and development of new transportation services, is comprised of 14,000 to 15,000 employees globally, a top executive said on November 15th. That would represent about 7% of the 201,000 employees Ford had at the end of last year. Marcy Clevorn, Ford's president of mobility, discussed the Smart Mobility unit during the Barclays Capital Global Automotive Conference in New York. It includes teams from Ford's Information Technology Department and other parts of the business, with clusters of employees based in Michigan, Silicon Valley, India, China, and other parts of the world. It's these employees' job to help Ford merge its product development cycles with digital service plans, Clevorn said. The automaker believes such services, including ride-hailing and autonomous fleet management, eventually will produce higher profit margins than the company generates from building and selling vehicles. Clevorn said the team has all the Lego pieces it needs, including Ford Pass app, the Chariot shuttle service it bought last year, and its investment in open-source mobility platform Autonomic to develop money-making initiatives, although she declined to reveal specifics. It's just a matter of assembling these pieces, that is to say, quickly, and kicking out products, she said. Well, over at Nissan, is Nissan moving forward with plans to juice up its lineup of electrical vehicles in the U.S.? The Note e-Power has a series hybrid propulsion system similar to that of the Chevrolet Bolt plug-in hybrid. The 1.2-liter three-cylinder engine isn't connected to the wheels but charges an internal battery pack powering an electric motor. The engine reportedly runs at a constant 2,500 RPM to feed electricity to the battery. The Note e-Power is propelled by its electric motor and reportedly offers electric drive benefits, a heavy dose of instant torque, and driving experience consistent with a fully electric powertrain. But unlike the Volt, the Note e-Power forgoes plug-in charging. It relies solely on the gasoline engine to charge and power the electric motor. The Note e-Power, targeted at urban users, was introduced in Japan as a test and has proved popular enough to outpace the Prius C in sales. The e-Power technology could enable Nissan to significantly undercut some rivals on price while still offering competitive fuel efficiency, analysts say. In Japan, the Prius still tops the e-Power hybrid in fuel economy ratings. Under Japan's fuel economy testing standards, the Note e-Power achieves 77 miles per gallon, while the Prius hybrid achieves 96 miles per gallon, and the Prius Prime plug-in hybrid is rated at 87.5 miles per gallon. And at Chevrolet, the 2019 Corvette ZR1 is the new king of Chevrolet performance. The coupe debuted November 12th at the Dubai International Motor Show with an exclusive 6.2-liter supercharged LT5 V8 engine capable of 755 horsepower and 715 pound-feet of torque, and a top speed of more than 210 miles an hour, making it the fastest, most powerful production Corvette ever. The car's performance appears to have even surpassed the expectations of General Motors product chief Mark Reuss, a licensed road racer who created the automaker's performance division. I've never driven a Corvette like this before, and no one else has either, because there's never been one like this before, Reuss said in a statement. Its unprecedented performance puts all other global supercars on notice that the ZR1 is back. The ZR1 is scheduled to go on sale in spring of 2018, and pricing will be released later, but it won't be cheap. The fourth generation ZR1 features several more aggressive design features than the current top tier, that is, Corvette Z06, including a more sculpted hood, larger and lower air intake grills above a more prominent splitter, and massive rear spoiler. For the first time, the ZR1 will be available with an optional 8-speed paddle-shift automatic transmission, and a 7-speed manual transmission will be standard. Chevrolet is offering 2 aero packages on the car, a standard rear wing, that is, which delivers the highest top speed and helps generate up to 70% more downforce than the Z06's base aero package, and an available 2-way adjustable high wing that offers maximum downforce on the track for the quickest lap times, thanks to about 60% more downforce than the Z06 with an available Z07 performance package. All models will feature a first for Chevrolet, a downforce enhancing front underwing. The LT5 engine delivers the highest output ever for a Chevrolet production vehicle, thanks in part to a more efficient intercooled supercharger system that offers 52% more displacement.
Thanks to your generosity, Marines have delivered Christmas to children in need since 1947.